I hope you're feeling green today because I got 10 that I think would look awesome in your bedroom. If you haven't already, please click on that subscribe button for us and also press that like button to validate what we're doing on this channel. 6 videos a week now. Now that's dedication to paint. So today we have 10 paint colors by Sherwin-Williams, and I've split them into 3 different greeny categories. We love green on this channel, right? It's just a color that represents nature, serenity, peace. It's also sort of transitional, right? Because it can be warm, it can be cool. So I want to give you a bit of everything here. All of these colors I think would be great choices in your bedroom, but there's also no reason why you couldn't use these in other parts of your home as well. And although these colors are going to look really awesome, according to me, never rely on a YouTuber's opinion before you buy anything, unless it's a Mighty board, so you can properly test out your paint colors before committing to them. I love Mighty boards because they're extremely big and mighty and versatile. If you are pretty sold on any of the paint colors we discussed today, make sure you grab a Sherwin-Williams tester pot or 2, some Mighty boards, and now you have these massive samples that you can use in your home. As always, Mighty boards information is down below so you can check them out. So I want to start with Contented, which is a mid-tone gray-green that's pretty passive. I would recommend this color as a starting point for anyone that is maybe used to gray, beige, soft, neutral colors that don't really make a huge statement. Contented is sort of in that realm. It is pretty passive and desaturated. You don't really see a ton of green coming through, and you may not even notice it on your phone or your computer, but it is there. There is green. Just take my word for it. It also has a 52 LRV, which is a mid-tone. So it's sort of middle of the road in terms of darkness, which makes it pretty flexible where you can use it. Although I will say it is not very light. So don't think of it as a light color because it's not. It's a mid-tone. So make sure you use it in an area that does have a sufficient amount of lighting. But as far as green goes, this one is easy peasy in my mind. Next up we have Basil, which is the second neutral green, and it may not look neutral to a lot of you because of the fact that it's so dark. It has an LRV of 15, and this means it's 15% on the lightness scale, which makes it not light at all. It's very, very dark. But that being said, to me, it does feel still like a soft green. It has just a bit of a grayed out quality. It is toned down ever so slightly. There is a lot of saturation, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be a vibrant forest or jade green. It's not going to be a deep dark teal. It sort of lives in the middle in this nice, comfortable realm. So again, a really, really good beginner's dark green for anyone that's looking for a dark color that is green. This one is a great choice for you, and you'll get a really good sleep. It's nice and dark and cozy and kind of similar to what I have on this wall here, actually. So color number 3 is called Wavecrest, and it's the lightest green on this list with an LRV of 69. Now, because it's light, a lot of people will say, okay, great, I could just use it instead of alabaster or something, but not so fast. It can sort of give you a light minty vibe, which is actually more prominent than you might expect. So my optimal use case for this color would be a light accent color. And the way you would do that is you would just have white walls or maybe a nice warm off-white, and then wherever you would use a traditionally dark wall, let's say, use this color instead. So it could be a great color behind your headboard in your bedroom just to give you some more dimension, but still keep everything nice and buoyant and light. Light bedroom colors, not really my thing, but if you do like waking up to a nice kind of moment, then this could be a good choice. So those are the neutrals out of the way. Let's move into the mid-tone colors, which have a little more color. And Nurture Green would be my first choice because it's a pretty organic and balanced feeling green where it's sort of in between being warm and cool. Another great starting place if you want a nice saturated green to put on your walls. And because it has that saturation, it's going to feel a little more vibrant, I would say. So it's a purposeful green. It's a green that is not hiding behind a grayed out quality or a dustiness. This one is pretty strong, but because it's only around a 40 LRV, it's not overly dark, but there is a lot of color in it. Restful is a very similar color, but it has a stronger dose of blue. So it does give you this, I guess, cooler coastal freshness, perhaps a bit more funky as well, but it does give you that option to pull in those blues into your design, and it might harmonize that really well. Just a little more soothing, maybe a bit more spa-like, I would say. That's how I always envision cold colors like this, but there is enough green where it still feels green. And it's called Restful. I mean, that's like the perfect name for a bedroom color. Like you should just pick it based on that. Not actually, but. And if we take things into the opposite direction, so maybe you want something warmer, not cooler, well, you got Haven. It's much warmer with a much stronger herbaceous kind of yellow undertone. And I would say that it's much more energetic with that yellow zestiness. Because in general, when you think of colors, the warmer colors like your oranges, reds, and especially yellows, they do have more energy. They will feel more vibrant. So maybe it'll help you wake up a bit more. But that's just color theory. You may react to color differently than I do. So are you prioritizing your good mornings, a nice little energetic wake up, or your good evenings? Or you're trying to wind down and cool off? Just keep that in mind whether you're going warm or cool with your greens. Moving on to our dark greens, which are probably my most desirable bedroom colors because I just like those dark colors. I sometimes wear an eye mask when I'm sleeping, but when I'm not, I still kind of want that effect with my paint color. Kale green would be my first one that I want to share with you, and it's a deep forest green. Pretty standard and traditional, I would say, for a green, although it's going to be more saturated than basil, which we talked about earlier. This one has more coloration. It has less gray in it, so you're going to see more pure green. Kind of a nice, pleasant forest green, but it doesn't really lean towards yellow or blue or anything like that. It has that true green quality to it, which I think is just a solid choice for a lot of people. Now, speaking of warm, you have Inverness, which is a more energized and charged warm yellow undertone green. Very dark. Also a great place to visit in the beautiful country of Scotland. My wife will tell you all about it. There's not enough yellow in it to make it feel kind of strange and sickly. It still retains this earthy quality to it, which I think is pretty important because you do have that connection to nature with green. So if it starts to feel kind of weird and unnatural, then it doesn't really seem to fit unless it's a purposeful kind of like pop art sort of style you're going for. I prefer Inverness as an interesting accent color choice that you can sort of match with your accessories, like maybe the throw blanket you put on your bed. And I say that specifically because I was definitely inspired by this photo by David Mitchell. Not an identical match, but sort of a similar vibe. And how cool is that gold dripping ceiling? Probably very expensive though. So we talked about a warmer deep green. Hunt Club is my deep dark cool green. Very much a jewel tone to me, which is sort of this blackened cool green with that little bit of blue to dramatize it. It's so rich and powerful when you use it in the bedroom. I would use it all over the walls. Like I would go all out with this color. I think you'll get very good sleeps. It'll be extremely calming and soothing, I would think. Unless you get sick of it in like a month, which would be a disaster because that would take many coats to cover. So this last green is not a very popular color at all. No one seems to talk about it. It's not even been featured in any of Sherwin-Williams' previous color collections. Maybe it's because it's not a great color. Oops. I mean, I think it's really, really fun. It's called Grandview. What's great is it has enough saturation where it could definitely stand out as an accent color, but why not envelop your space with it on all your walls? To me, it just feels wonderfully balanced and put together in its undertones. Just look at it. It's so beautiful. And also, I have to know, which one of these is your favorite? Or do you have an 11th green that really does it for you? That does it for me. Check out this video for more beautiful green paints.